Hey friends, uh, here we go again with another Words Make Worlds video. Okay, I don't know if you've been following these, but we've just been having some conversations about our conversations, talking about how we talk, right? So today I want to talk a little bit about joking. Now, I love joking. I was named our class clown in my graduating class, so that was pretty cool. I was pretty excited about that. My favorite thing to do when I grew up, as I was growing up, was watch Saturday Night Live. That was it. And I still love really funny comedies. Yeah, my wife can't stand it, but I love goofball comedies. They're just my favorite thing ever. So I like joking around. I like telling jokes. But you've probably noticed this. Often jokes happen at other people's expense pretty regularly. We try to be funny, and in the process, we make generalizations or we objectify people, treat them as objects. We heighten something that maybe they're already insecure about, which causes pain. Now, maybe you're hearing all this and you're like, "Oh my goodness, yeah, people are just way too fragile. They need to grow a spine, a backbone, right? Like, you take a joke." And I hear you. And sometimes we can be too sensitive. But I find it interesting that we actually hear about this in Scripture. We don't typically think Scripture talks much about humor, right? But here it is in Ephesians, Paul's letter to the church at Ephesus. He writes a letter to them about what it looks like to follow Christ in the world as a community. And he says this. This is chapter 5, verse 4. Obscene stories, foolish talk, and coarse jokes. These are not for you. Instead, let there be thankfulness to God. So he discourages them from taking part in obscene stories, foolish talk, and coarse jokes. Now, why is that? Well, because Paul, again and again, and he's doing this because he's looking back at the life and the teachings of Jesus, and he's trying to help people understand what that looks like. Jesus was all about self-sacrificial love, giving himself in love so that we might be rescued from ourselves and from death and from sin and from all that wants to destroy us, so we can be freed to be the people we were created to be. That's all that Jesus is about. And Paul's looking back on that and going, okay, sacrificial love, loving one another deeply, you don't do that by making fun of each other. Now, is there a place for good-hearted joking and humor? Absolutely. I don't think Jesus would take any issue at all with friends kind of joking around together. But typically, there are lines that get crossed, and we need to be really cognizant that our primary concern is building one another up, loving one another with our words, not just kind of winning a cheap laugh. Right? Because let's face it, sometimes we tell jokes because we want to laugh. It makes us feel good. It's like getting that like on social media makes us feel good about ourselves to make people laugh. Or, to be honest, sometimes jokes are a power move, right? If you can make fun of someone, if you can belittle someone, it gives you a sense of power over them. None of those things is loving. And so, if our speech is not reflecting the others centered, self sacrificial love of Jesus, then it's not appropriate. It's not constructive. It's not helpful. So, that doesn't mean, you can't ever tell a joke or you can't joke around and laugh with people. Of course not. But it does mean that your priority is not your entertainment, and it's certainly not your ability to get a laugh at the expense of others. The priority is, how do I build other people up? How do I love people well with my words? You can do that with joking, absolutely. But you just have to be cognizant of it. And sometimes you'll mess up. Sometimes you'll go too far and you'll tell a joke and it'll hurt the other person. And you realize later, like, man, maybe that wasn't really helpful. And you might have to circle back and, say, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Will you forgive me? That happens. All right. So this isn't about perfection. It is about orienting yourself in love towards other people, particularly with your words. So tell some great jokes today. Laugh a lot. But make sure that whatever you're saying, whatever you're doing, it's done in love for the other person, so that they can be built up, so that they can experience the life that they were made for, and that you can help them do that. And I'll tell you what, It's a lot more gratifying in the long term to be the kind of person who builds people up with your words than to simply be someone who gets a cheap laugh once in a while. All right? So, hope that's encouraging. Yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you around. Grace and peace, friends.